S-T-R-O. Yeah.
How many of y'all came to win?
Oh, they asking my name, huh?
You ready?
S-T-R-O. I ain't come to play with you.
Yeah.
Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up.
Yeah.
I can't spend the day with you. I'm minding my business.
Way. Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, bruising runner Leonard Fournette, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Tennessee Titans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Looks like it's going to be a pretty soggy night here at TIAA Bank Field. Rain showers, maybe an occasional clap of thunder supposed to continue throughout here in Jacksonville. This crowd excited to see their Jaguars as both teams emerged from their tunnels a moment ago. We are just about ready for football as the Jags get set to match up with Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Titans, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
The children will grow, and it's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. There's Nick Foles ready to bring out this Jacksonville offense. Nick was the MVP of Super Bowl 52, of course. Signed the big money deal to take over as a starting quarterback following the 5-year run of Blake Bortles, who wound up in L.A. They go with Leonard Fournette, third-year back from LSU. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys,
the Red Sea parts, and there he goes. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marquise Lee, his first touchdown of the new season, and the Jags have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it.
Was it an audible, or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now a first-time 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago, it's Derrick Henry. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 11 now. Mariota eluding the pressure right. And he slides to avoid the hit. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a third down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a fourth down. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, head computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on fourth down, and my goodness, incomplete. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter? I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now Foles. He hits Blue. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be second down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. A shotgun give to Fournette. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. The seasoned vet out of Penn State, Cameron Wake, in to drop him.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue, because you know after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe it. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what I
think that factored in.
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
15 yards on the play, 1st down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
A 1st down carry for Henry. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early. So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. 10-0 the score after one on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Mariota now to throw on 1st down. And Walker with it over the middle. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Mariota now. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or two shy of midfield.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later. Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
Mariota and the Titans break the huddle 1st and 10 at their own 23. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. And the Jags grab it. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find a good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board, ended up settling for 3.
Let's go. Do it.
Marcus Mariota getting ready to go again here on offense. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward. Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between second
and the Jags get to him as down he goes. Finding his way home for the sack that time, Taven Bryant.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And he locates Walker, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it in yards on that play for the Titans.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. Josh Allen in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming. And he's going to go down again. Calais Campbell finding his way home for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Mariota will need a big play after the sack as the Titans come up 3rd and long. From the gun, Mariota. He finds Humphreys. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A pickup of 27, and they pick up the first down in the process. A first down throw for Mariota. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. That's Yannick Ngakoue with a sack.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. 3rd and short yardage, Mariota. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. To the air again, Mariota. And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. Now the Titans will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Here's Mariota. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Corey Davis in the final seconds of the first half. And the Titans have made this a one-score game. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, a full half to be played. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. So we have reached and we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. One of his main targets, Delaney Walker, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Even though that one was incomplete, you could see the training that went into that play. He gets out of the pocket, ends up moving to his right. All he's trying to do, though, extend the life of the play. Keep it alive, hoping someone would pop free.
Was able to take a pretty good shot with a deep ball, but incomplete. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. Now on 4th and inches, they're going to want to talk this over. We get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. They'll run for it with Henry. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
They're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. On 2nd and 11 now. Mariota. He will find Davis on the left side, complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Partner sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. Well, let's see who's faster.
On 3rd down, Henry. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Mariota. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away at 2nd down.
Sometimes we wonder about play calls, but this one made perfect sense to me. He's got the only touchdown that they've scored in this game. Tried to get it to him again on another deep ball.
And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Brett Kern now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Now Foles off the play fake to Fournette. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. The hit comes late. We saw it. There's your flag.
And we know that there's a guideline, right? Ball's gone. You get 1 step. If you're within 1 step of the quarterback, you can hit him as long as it's still done legally. But anything outside of that, looks like an extra step was involved.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Keelan Cole, the intended target, but it's going to be 2nd down. These 5th-rounders, and to use him as an example, maybe you take a little bit of a flyer on someone, hope you hit goal.
Exactly, because when you get into the 5th round, you're usually not counting on him to become a starter right away. But we've seen so many times 5th, 6th, 7th, undrafted free agents who come in and make their way, and in a big way.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Foles. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Thought they were going to force a 4th down. Instead, P.I. gives him the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make it.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Titans offense now, they get ready to do battle again here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
Ready?
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer.
44.
From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Calais Campbell able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Mariota will need a big play after the sack as the Titans come up 3rd and long. Now Mariota going up top. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4th.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
1 score down, here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. The Titans go. It's Mariota. Uncorks one for Davis. And Bryant, but ultimately they fail on 4th down. And the Jags take over in terrific field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the 2nd half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great. I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around a training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble. Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean,
under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Mariota and the Titans break the huddle 1st and 10 at their own 21. To throw is Mariota. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
On the move to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Josh Allen in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone They can create points using the...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And he will bring this down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
Mariota. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. So they decline the penalty. That seems a little odd.
I'm trying to work through it and work with them to figure out why.
Well, someone's got to be confused.
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that the bench is saying take the penalty, and somehow in the heat of the moment, they thought they were saying decline the penalty, and that's going to work against them. They should have taken it.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. He had no options downfield there and just chucked it out of bounds.
There was no one open. He was in the pocket. Where was the intentional grounding call?
Oh, you wanted the flag.
Of course I did. I'm a defensive guy. You know that. Where was the flag? The officials point out that someone was in the area. He got away with one. I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount. He got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. Back now on EA Sports as the kick teams are out here following the 2-minute warning. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Mariota sets to lead this offense. Down by 10, a minute 55 remaining. And they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. It got his man complete. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. A.J. Brown, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Titans are able to make this a close game again.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. They do tack on the extra point as well, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And, boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
And another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you absolutely have to have them. They go over this all the time. Here's one of those situations.
Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down. So that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Come get some. Come on here.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Now the Titans will use their third and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. And they take a knee. Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. That'll go in the books as just a 16-yard punt. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick.
Defense.
So the defense helping him out a little bit here late in the fourth.
Man, you're exactly right. And when you're the one doing the chasing, you'll take a little help from the other guys, won't you?
And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Here's Ryan Suckup for the Titan field goal. 4 seconds to go. This would send us to overtime. And no, wide left. It's no good. And a tough finish to this one. So 3 points, the deciding margin. And the kick no good at the end that could have sent us to overtime. And while it was a decently long kick, we've almost gotten to the point with these kickers these days. Anything inside 60, we just expect them to make it. But that was a tough pressure kick.
I love how you brought that up, though. That is so true because the kickers have almost done themselves a disservice by being so good. Exactly right. And when they do miss it, I'm not sure we give enough gravity to the idea of, that's a really long kick in a difficult situation, folks. Tough attempt, and he missed.
So for Jacksonville, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And now they'll get the weekend off as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they
in New Orleans, big Snoop Dogg got a Madden lead. His team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do, come and get some. See, tell your mama and tell your daddy and tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Tell your mama and tell your daddy and tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Come get some if you want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg and I'm the only one, and when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons. Haha, bag up off me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast, cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. Come on. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll it when I'm in a mud league. 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is, I get it. I got cleats on my feet, jersey on my back, helmet on my head, ready to attack like that. Down in Mississippi and New Orleans, big Snoop Dogg got a Madden lead. Your team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do, come and get some. See, tell your mama and tell your daddy and tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Tell your mama and tell your daddy and tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Come get some if you want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg and I'm the only one, and when it comes to Cause on the mic I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll you when I'm in a mud league. 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. Now get it. Big Snoop Dogg. It's in the game.
S-T-R-O. Yeah.
How many of y'all came to win?
Oh, they asking my name, huh?
You ready?
S-T-R-O. I ain't come to play with you.
Yeah.
Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up.
Yeah.
I can't spend the day with you. I'm minding my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright.
Yep.
I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop. Look at shorty, she support ride. Lifting up, never not on my grind. New York City time. Another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winning side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
What I do? Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable. They sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few. Can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze. Freeze. Stop you in your tracks. There's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit. Your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go together like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop. It's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired. Can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
I just got bags from Prada.